Go. Hello book lovers and welcome to Book Talk Radio Club. My name is Claire Perkins and today I'm talking to author Anna Everett. Anna is the author of the highly popular Holistic Alchemist series and Spirit of Seven series, as well as being mum to 15 chihuahuas. Hi Anna, first of all welcome and thank you for coming on Book Talk Radio Club.
Hi Claire, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Anna, the first of the Spirit of books is called Spirit of Seven and is set against the background of the London bombings in July 2005. What was behind the decision to use the tragedy of the bombings for this book?
I think it was a little bit of human curiosity, really. You see these things happen and then they disappear and become yesterday's news. And it was kind of a fascination with, I wonder, what was the story behind the people that were involved?
Right.
Obviously, this isn't a real story, this is a supposed story, but you can imagine that for the victims and their families, life was never going to be the same again.
Absolutely.
And it was going to take an awful lot to recover from. But life does have a funny way of allowing you to go on, and I also wanted to impart a sense of hope, that no matter what terrible things happen in the world, yes, some people lose their lives, and that's always there, and it's always a memory, and they were always someone you loved. But for the living, we have to go on.
Absolutely.
It's not really negotiable, you know. The protagonist in the book, her life had to go on without the person that she loved, who was lost in the bombing. It's just such a horrible thing to happen. I just sort of felt that, you know, rather than hide from it, we needed to explore it and see, you know, that there is life behind tragedy and people can overcome horrific things and live again.
Fair enough. No, I agree with you. Your next Spirit of book is entitled The Spirit of Christmas Past. Can you tell me a little bit about it without, of course, giving anything away?
Well, again, it was another look at human tragedy and how people move on. There was a lot of interest in wheelchair use because for me I had an accident when I was younger and I injured my back, and there was possible speculation it would happen to me, that I would need to be a wheelchair user. Fortunately it never happened. I was able to get better.
Right.
But one of my characters has to come to terms with that, which when you're coming to terms with it in your head that it might happen to you, you think about it quite a lot and how it might impact your life. So I wanted to explore that on paper a bit more, and she also had other things to deal with, and again it was a case of how does life go on when things go wrong.
Yeah.
You either give up and lie down, or you have to really battle your way through, but there are people there to help you and hold your hand. And she goes through a period of grief and tries to push everyone away, then realises that actually human kindness and the love of her family and friends is as healing as what the doctors and nurses are providing her physically.
So your books are giving hope to people, which is wonderful.
They are, and they explore the paranormal with spirit guides coming in both books to sort of help the person. And obviously you can interpret that as a real paranormal presence if that's your belief in the world, or just maybe their internal dialogue helping them, and they've given it more of a presence and a body themselves,
right,
in order to be able to process the lessons they need to learn. And you know, the spirit guides aren't always nice to them. They sometimes sell them some hard truths and make them face up to things, which is easy to hide from if you've been battered and you're down. You know, you don't want to necessarily face up and get on. It's actually easier sometimes to be a victim and let people help you and sort of do nothing for yourself. But I wanted these strong females to demonstrate that there was a way of fighting their way back.
Oh, brilliant. Good. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I see the Holistic Alchemist series is doing well over on Amazon. What does the Holistic Alchemist mean?
For me, it was a combination of therapies, really. I've trained in quite a lot of alternative therapies, and generally they are standalone, and practitioners get quite defensive of their therapy being the one that will work. And actually my experience was that bits and pieces from many therapies can actually be what helps a person.
Absolutely.
It's a unique process depending on each individual person because we're unique.
Yeah. Absolutely. Sorry about that. My computer's beeping at me. You've published a number of books in this series, from dreams to destiny to practicing meditation. Do you practice meditation yourself, and how has it helped you writing your books?
Yes, I do practice meditation. I find it very therapeutic to sort of take time out of my day and just sort of shut my mind down from the chaos. And I think some of the ideas have struck me when my mind's been quiet and not filled up with work or running a house or bringing up children and things like that. It's my time for me to enjoy peace and quiet, really.
Sure.
My mind unwrap itself, and that's when I get some ideas and things come out that, I've been too busy to deal with.
Absolutely. I also find that if I move away from the computer and take the dog for a walk, that's when I get the ideas. The ideas start coming through. I guess meditation comes in different forms.
Absolutely, yes. I mean, you can sit in the dark on your own with music and candles, or like you say, you can be out in nature walking and enjoying the beach or the grass or the fields or whatever. Anything that sort of frees the mind of the trappings of your daily grind, as it were.
Exactly. Your newest book is due to be published this year in June under the pen name Anna Everett. Have I said that right? And it's called Angelique, and it's a vampire tale. A bit of a departure from the holistic alchemist. Why vampires?
It was just something that struck me, really. My brain is a bit like that. It just likes what it likes and comes up with these ideas. And it came to me back along, several years ago now, the basis of the idea, when I was actually doing some ghostwriting for a client.
Right.
And it wasn't quite how he wanted it to be. It actually grew with me. And I've been developing it on the side ever since.
Right.
And
Interesting.
it seemed like a nice time to try something different and see if there was a different audience out there for me as well.
Right.
Certainly more dark and certainly more spine-chilling, as it were.
You've also published a number of diaries, including the Chihuahua Diary for 2017, and you're a mum to 15 of them. Chihuahuas, that is, not diaries. If I'm correct, you run a charity to rehome this breed. How did that start?
I do, yes. It's only a very small charity, but it just is a love of Chihuahuas, really. I'd always grown up adoring big, huge dogs, and that's what I thought I needed in my life. But with my own health issues, with my back, fibromyalgia, there wasn't really any way I could cope with such massive animals in my home, as much as I loved them. My family actually thought I was mad when I first said I was going to get a Chihuahua. They were like, you hate small dogs. And I'm like, well, but I love dogs. I love all dogs, and I believe that animals make such a difference to our lives.
Well, it's a lovely thing to do, to be able to rehome animals, that's for sure. Well done for that. You're a very busy lady, as well as writing your books, running a charity and looking after your furry daughters. You also style yourself as Geek Girl and run a service offering companies drive brand awareness through a responsive style of social media marketing. Now, can you give me a brief explanation of what that means, please?
Yeah, responsive social media marketing it's kind of a thing I've coined for myself, really.
Oh, right.
Generally, social media marketing is the employment of a company, and they schedule a week's worth of social media posts at a time using automated software. So on a daily basis, they don't really touch your account. They tend to spend an hour or two scheduling everybody's posts, and then they're gone. Okay. But I felt that was quite impersonal, and it doesn't really speak about who I am either.
Right.
So I generally work live, which I'm sure a lot of people in the field would think I'm mad for trying to do, but I work on a day-by-day basis with my clients, being responsive to what might be going on in their industries, picking up immediately on news articles, which obviously if you've scheduled a whole week of posts, by the time you get to the next week, you're going to be 7 days out of date with the article anyway.
Absolutely.
And for companies to look like they really have their finger on the pulse on what they're doing, that's doing them a disservice if you're not getting that news out there within sort of a day or so of it happening. So the first thing I do is check the news in their industry and see if there's anything relevant we can pull. And then the other point is being very responsive to the audience. If you get comments on Facebook or Twitter, replying, taking into account what they say. Most social media companies throw that back at the company and say, that's your problem, we've done our bit. Do that. But I tend to do it for my clients. I tend to make sure I'm responding. I'll pull them up and say, you've got a customer waiting for an inquiry, get your move on, get over onto your sites. And we share out to relative interest groups. So if you have, say I was promoting my dog charity, I would share to dog-loving groups on Facebook as well, which is a service that nobody else seems to offer.
Yeah.
Post to your page and walk away. So I share my clients' posts as wide as possible, really, to get their name out there and to get their brand out there.
It's interesting because you're exactly on the same wavelength as me, that's for sure. So with all of the above, plus her husband and 2 boys, how on earth do you fit in time for yourself, for Anna Everett?
Well, that's a good question. This is me. This is what I love to do. I love being busy. And I've managed to build a life doing what I love. So I don't really consider social media, although it pays the bills, a job. I love doing it. I don't consider my dogs work. I just love being with them. My children regularly complain that the dogs are more of my children than they are, but that's not true. I love my boys very much. But, they are growing up and they are getting independent without me. So everything I do is just who I am.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, to me, the writing that I do, doing this, I absolutely love doing. To me, it's not a job, it's something I just love to do. I quite agree with you. Absolutely. So what's next for Anna Everett?
Well, I'd like to obviously get the Angelique book finished and out. The Literary Festival in Tiverton, which is my town, is in June, sorry. So hoping the book will be out before then.
Right.
And after that, there are a couple more Spirit old books in the pipeline. There should be one out at Christmas again.
Okay.
But I also have an interesting story in the more sort of junior fantasy, goblins, elves and fairies type genre in my head that I've got started on. So I'd quite like to get that out as well at some stage.
Must be very busy going on in there in your head.
Chaos in my head, yeah.
So, Anna, where can Book Talk Radio Club listeners purchase your books?
All of my books are available on Amazon as either paperbacks or digital downloads for Kindle. Obviously, local people, I've always got my own books, but I'm more than happy for someone to contact me independently and I'll arrange to get copies to them.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you. Okay, Anna, thank you. That was absolutely fascinating. Please come back on Book Talk Radio when you've published your next book, Angelique. I'd love to chat with you and hear more. In the meantime, good luck for the future, and thank you, everyone, for listening to Book Talk Radio today. Thanks, Anna.
Thanks, Claire. Take care. Bye-bye now.